the Sports Betting Network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard with you live downtown Las Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino. Busy 3-hour program lined up today. Jeff Davis from right here at Circa coming up in 30 minutes. He's the man in charge of booking all the Masters action. They take a ton of big bets and sharp money on the Masters. We'll talk to him about that coming up then. Mike Palm on the program a little bit later on, and Jeff Sherman from the Westgate as well. He's been booking golf and the Masters for many, many years over at the Westgate. We'll get his thoughts on the tournament as well, which begins tomorrow. And to begin the show, Paulie, we have some crazy finishes right now in Major League Baseball. In fact, 2 games pretty much just finished simultaneously. It looked like the Cardinals and Pirates were going to go to the 14th tied at 1. Pirates had the bases loaded, nobody out, and then the Cardinals got an out. They had the next batter down to 2 strikes, and then he hit one over the left fielder's head that scored a run to win 2-1. And how hairy did it just get in Detroit as the Yankees moments ago held on to beat the Tigers by a score of 4-3. Max Fried was absolutely brilliant today. 7 innings, 5 hits. He gave up nothing. Other than that, struck out 11. But this is an ongoing problem now for this team. I'm just curious here. I don't want to overreact, but is Devin Williams shot?
He shouldn't be the closer under any circumstances. There's a guy on first with 2 outs, and it's 4-0. The tying run was on base. Ridiculous. He's all over the place, falling behind. Wild pitch, right? And they have to take him out. Judge misses the cutoff guy. Next thing you know, there's a guy on second with 2 outs, and that would have been a terrible loss.
His ERA after today now is 12 flat.
Yep.
His whip is at 3. That means that he is, for those of you that might be new to this kind of stuff, whip, walks and hits per innings pitched. He's letting 3 guys on per inning. That's unheard of.
Confidence, too. Yeah, you're right.
For sure, going back to last year.
You're right.
When he blew the game for the Brewers, and also he's had an injury problem as well. But he threw 33 pitches, and that's been a huge problem. This guy cannot come in and 3 up and 3 down. Here's 2 strikeouts in 12 pitches, and that's the ball game.
Yeah. Number one, I hate bringing in a closer when it's a 3 or 4 run lead. Number 2, after what he did last year, Weaver's unbelievable. Weaver should be coming in to slam the door. And,
so they brought Weaver in as the bridge to Williams today.
He pitched the 8th, yeah.
And then Leiter had to come in and get 1 out to close out the game, and that's just what happened.
And the first game you mentioned, too, Pittsburgh had to have it. They wasted a great performance. They had 1 hit in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah. No, they were getting nothing. It was Fetty today going for the Cardinals.
Yeah, right. And it was reminiscent of what happened last night with the Rays, who had a guy on third with nobody out in the 7th, in the 8th, and the 9th, and didn't get any of them in.
Ugh.
But with Pittsburgh, it's just ducks on the pond and can't get a big hit, and they were able to pull it out, though, in a wild game.
I noticed that there was a nice move last night / this morning on the Marlins. Sharp money was all over Max Meyer, who went today for Miami, and he was really, really good over 6 1/3.
Yeah, Mets didn't get a hit till the 6th.
Yeah, they couldn't do anything. The Marlins shut him out by a score of 5-0. So the sharp money move there on the Marlins was absolutely spot on today. And this is the big one that we're going to track throughout today's program. After what happened last night in Sacramento, of course, it's been an autoplay so far to begin the year. And last night, as the game was happening, Paulie, in the first inning, when the game went over in the first, and it was 6-3 A's moving to the top of the second, that game closed with a total of 8 or 8.5. I looked at the overnights, and I'm like, okay, well, it's 9.5 even money to the over. I have to bet it again because every game has gone over so far in Sacramento. And today they are scoreless, bottom of the second. Right now, for the Athletics, they do have the bases loaded with only 1 out. And I'm not going to come across and beat my chest over this like it's some great handicapping thing that's going on. But there was an idea here that if you just kept betting these, so far to begin the year, lower totals in Sacramento, with the ballpark, with the way that it's configured, with the warmer weather, this is going to be maybe the exact opposite of the old Coliseum. And what just happened, they got a double play to get out of it the way it looks. With the bases loaded.
Here's to be a launching pad, though. That's the other thing. Yep, tough one.
I think it looked like, he flew out to center field, so the center fielder threw home and got the guy at the plate. Jesus, what a double play that is.
Diamondbacks had Morton on the ropes last night. Same situation. Bottom of the first, bases loaded, nobody out. He gets the double play. I mean, who knows what could have happened then?
Right.
Still won the game, but that's it's like Tom Glavine. If you don't get him in the first, you don't get him, period.
And that game now is Arizona 1, Baltimore nothing. I will say this on the A's. I had a bet over 9.5 today, but at some point we kicked this around last week, right, when they were playing against the Cubs. You had to bet by default like these 8.5s early on the season because they could have, as we're kicking around here on the show, maybe they turn into 11s pretty soon. Or maybe it's Coors Field light here in Sacramento. And at some point, those numbers are going to become unbettable. But at 8.5, even thought today 9.5 was worth a play on this game.
Yep.
And then it's going to become, once these numbers, and it closed 10, by the way, with a total. So then once the totals, if they kind of even out there and get to 10, maybe 10.5 or even 11, I think more of that's going to basically wind down to who's on the mound that day for both teams.
Yep. We discussed this yesterday about the cold and what do you do when you're playing in 35 degrees, right? And it was 35 degrees in Wrigley, and you saw what the score was. They got to Corbin, but Tyone didn't do his part, but the Cubs won 10-6. I didn't think of this angle. 38 errors the last 2 days. 20% of the season total. So you think about what happens in cold weather, but these guys are kicking the ball all over the yard. What's happened? And that's another factor, too, maybe if you want to put something in your handicap and maybe with some totals as well. But that's nuts what's happened the last 2 days with some of this stuff. So,
but so far today, all these games are...
Well, getaway day, too, right? You got that angle,
Yeah.
right? Let's swing at the first pitch, get out of here, and everything's gone under.
I think 3 games so far that are over with. They're all under as of as we speak. Texas leads the Cubs 6-1. They're in the bottom of the 7th. That total's obviously up in play, but not much going on. And then the Dodgers.
There you go, Mr. Martingale. What do you think? They've lost 3 in a row now.
Yeah.
Starting pitching, not giving them a chance.
Also, but the injuries though too.
Yes, right.
Right, we're kicking that around. Like if healthy, I mean, how many wins are they going to have? But so when the injuries start to pile up a little bit, maybe that can come back to. But I mean, they'll get back on track. I mean, Ohtani's on right now, first the way it looks. So who knows? Maybe they have something brewing here in the first inning against Washington.
Haven't been swept by the Nats since 2008. Ooh, crazy what's happened the last couple of days.
That would be a. Well, I mean, what do you think the series price was on that?
No kidding.
Or for the team to get swept?
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely.
But that also ties into what's going on with the Giants right now. So the Reds played in yet another 1-0 game last night.
Yeah.
We've had 6 of them on the year, and the Reds have been in 4 of them.
Correct.
And they got the Giants yet again.
They shut them out back-to-back, 1-0, and shut them out to 2-0, yes.
And now Lodolo has an ERA sub-1.
Yeah.
3 starts into the season.
You believe it?
Are they going to be the best under team of the entire year?
Could be.
Even though they play, their home games are...
Starting pitching's been phenomenal.
Oh, it's been outstanding. Hunter Green is down to 8-1 at a couple of spots to win the Cy Young. Jensen Lewis and our buddy Mike Montesato here on the show both gave him out. I never bet him. I have him most Ks 25-1. I added him after his first start.
Best DRA for starters. I can't believe what they're doing.
I know.
I mean, this has been great, and they've scored 2 runs or fewer in 7 of the last 8 games. They just can't hit. But the pitching helped them out here, and that's an incredible stat you just talked about. 6-1-0 games they've been involved in 4. I'm still okay with the Giants. They just great job by the Reds, and that's just that's how it goes. It's baseball. It was a weird day.
Well, here's one thing, by the way, to keep your mind. File this away, make a note of it. Maybe for Reds games coming up, if their pitching can get off to such a great start like this, and their hitting is non-existent, maybe that means later on in the year when the weather warms up and they go back at home, because that home park, come on, that's totally hitter friendly. Maybe the totals will be, down a little bit compared to previous years, and that's when it's going to be time to hop on the overs a little bit later on, closer to summertime. What else were you going to say? Sorry, I cut you off.
Cubs are getting buried today. Imanaga didn't have much. Texas taking them out. 9 stolen bases the last 2 days in 9 attempts. Texas has allowed 25 stolen bases in 26 attempts.
Oh, man, wow.
This is nuts what's going on. And the Cubs had won 7 of 8 and outscored their opponents 69-25.
Yeah, the Cubs were also 10-3 in the first 5 before today.
Yeah. It's just been a weird 24 hours here. Sale, Wheeler, high-scoring affair. Guy didn't have anything, right? But the one thing, too, Twins, again. Reagan's was awesome. Twins cannot hit lefties. He had, 11 Ks in 6
yesterday.
innings? I mean, they came into the game 5 of 70 against lefties. And Reagan's just carved them up as well.
Wow, plenty of ways to approach it then, right? One would be with the opposing pitcher's K-prop.
Yep.
Team total under for the Twins. Maybe the opposing team in the first 5 as well. And there's also this, too, another team that's absolutely dreadful right now hitting. It's the Mariners yet again.
Oh, that was so bad.
They lost 2-1.
I can't take it.
In extra innings.
Yeah.
They start shortly. It's the other Luis Castillo against Hunter Brown. 19 strikeouts last night, 1 for 19 with runners in scoring position.
They're hitting 121 on the season with guys in scoring position. A team batting average with a slugging 140. Rodriguez, 1 for 17 going back.
They're going to have to fire everybody.
Yeah. He's hitting 178 on the season as well. You're right. Who is the hitting coach? What the hell's going on here?
Right.
You can't do this again. I mean, last year was embarrassing. You set a franchise record for quality starts. You have a great rotation. You missed the playoffs, and now what's happening again with this offense? But come on, get a big hit. Somebody.
That is absolutely pathetic, man.
I know. But it's funky, right? Angels keep winning, best record in the American League. So it's been a fun April, an interesting start to this month as well. What's going on?
Yeah, that was a good tweet from Mike Vorel. I believe he covers the team. He said maybe the most Mariners loss of all time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Right.
Or of this year anyway. Maybe you can go back to last year too.
Come on.
Yep.
They're like the Pirates.
A little help here, guys. Come on.
Yep.
19 strikeouts yet again. And it's not like Valdez had 14.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have double digits, but every reliever who came in after him, the Mariners couldn't touch him. Jeez, man.
I'm surprised what happened with the Cubbies. That was just it was 1-0 in the fifth, and then you look up and it's all Texas.
Yep.
So already 2-0 Dodgers too.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go. We will get into the NBA up next. I feel like this team is either losing in the play-in round or making the Western Conference Finals. We'll kick it around coming up next here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah. Came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
On the next Money Moves, Grace Remington joins me, Stormy Bonantoni, as we track live action from the first round of the Masters. Jonathan Davis jumps on to help us preview a loaded NHL card with the playoffs right around the corner. And we'll have sports betting analyst Dylan Rockford of the Gambling Podcast Network on breaking down the MLB slate, his thoughts on the first couple weeks of the baseball season. It's all happening starting at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, right here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Most strikeouts, Reagan's 10-1. We had a dead heat with runs. The A's, Mets, and Cubs all scored 10. The A's were 30-1. The Mets were 17, and the Cubs were 20. A's had 9 early and only got 1 the rest of the way.
Well, I'll tell you, the A's and or their opponent will be a team to consider betting in that market almost every game.
That's right. You can also bet high-scoring game as well every day. Nats plus 160, Blue Jays plus 190. Champions League, Inter Milan 3-1. England Championship, Millwall 5-1. More on this game coming up. An all-time beat. Vancouver plus 165. Buffalo plus 210. The Bruins plus 210. And Tabalo, he beat Joker in a tennis tournament. I think it was the first or second round. The guy was 4-1. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. At Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. Thanks to Scott, Chris, Tammy, Ann, Sean, regular guy, Grey Goose, Winky Duck for sending them in every single day. The girl has the balcony here, and the dogs like to look at the street and feel the breeze. So she put a little hole there so they can put their heads out, all 3 of them, the retrievers, and see what's going on. It's incredible.
It's like doggy Mardi Gras.
That's right.
Let's see the beads.
That is great. I'll put that up later at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. That is awesome, all 3 of them. Hey, what's going on down there, right? Get to feel the breeze as well. Love this type of dog. Look at the bullies. Look at the dad and the son here playing, right? Good time. Hey, buddy, how you doing? What a good-looking dog, right? That's awesome. Built like a brick bleep house, too, right?
Both of them are.
Yeah, and they love to play. That's a good-looking mug as well. That dad's playing with his buddy there. Excellent. Lose some. Red Sox 190 up to 230, no good. T-Wolves 2.5 up to 6. No good. One lose some. Cody Bellinger missed the game yesterday. Food poisoning.
I know.
He's off chicken wings, he said.
Spurs off him now.
Yep. Said at least 5 years. He woke up at 4 a.m. throwing up, and it was room service, he said.
Okay.
I've had it. It's horrific.
So the first time I ever had food poisoning, it was because of chicken wings.
Really?
I was so weak, and I felt so... I mean, it was... one of the sickest moments of my entire life, or I don't know, how long are you sick on food poisoning? 12, 18 hours, something like that? I couldn't even walk.
Longer for me.
I had to fall out of bed and crawl over to the bathroom to get to the toilet and throw up.
Oh.
So I didn't want to throw up all over the bedroom. It was so bad. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. It felt like somebody beat the living daylights out of me for days on end.
You're weak, you have nothing.
You got nothing in the tank.
I don't want to be graphic, but it's...
super painful.
Yeah.
And it was on wings. I've been back on wings for a long, long time. Hell, I had great wings Monday night. But I get his point. That's going to be a bad taste in his mouth for a long, long time.
Yeah, he says, I don't even want to think about it ever
for
again.
Sure.
Yeah, and he couldn't play, and that's a bad beat. Bad for the books. The Cavs, 10.5 up to 15. The Bulls sat everyone, 135 to 113. This was nuts. So the Celtics opened 3. Then Tatum and Brown were questionable. It got to Knicks 1, but then it went back to 2.5 when it came out who was officially playing, and it falls 2. And then again, they went to overtime. The Knicks are up 3. They didn't foul. And then who commits more stupid fouls more than Cat?
Oh, he's right up there.
They're up 3. Tatum is shooting a corner 3 with no room. It's a step back, right? So the degree of difficulty here, just put your hand up. If he makes it, shake his hand and say, God bless you. He fouls them. And then they blow it. Warriors from 6 up to 10. You think the Suns want to get the season over? 133 to 95 at home.
I think, honestly, they'd be the last team in any sport that I would bet on tonight. They're in action.
Forget about hockey. This has got to be the worst beat I've ever seen. Last night, the Dallas Stars were minus 210. They led Vancouver 5-2 with a minute left. They lost. How? 5-2 in hockey with a minute left. They lost in overtime. Vancouver scored 3 times. For the first time in NHL history, this happened. A team blew a 3-goal lead with a minute left.
Yep.
And they lost the game. Mike Palm said the equivalent might be you're up 3-0 in soccer. And it's like the 85th minute. And there's only 2 minutes of added time or something. You lose.
That's probably pretty close.
Or 2-0. I mean, how do you 5-2 with a minute left? Lakers. There were 15s out there when it looked like they were going to sit everybody. It went off plus 9.5. They are down 1 midway through the fourth quarter. After hitting a basket, the official throws Luka out of the game for yelling at a fan. He thought he was yelling at him. It doesn't stop.
No, it's every night, Paul.
It is. Like, oh, they came to see me. They throw him out of the game. The Lakers implode. They lose by 16. And here it is. The Timberwolves from 2.5 up to 6. They led by 24 points in the fourth quarter. The Bucks hit them with a 23-0 run and win the game. Oh, it's all time.
10 minutes left. Milwaukee outscored them 39-8 rest of the way. In the fourth quarter, Minnesota shot 4 of 20 from the floor, 2 of 12 from 3 with 9 turnovers. As Alan Horton, who calls their games on the radio, tweeted out, 10 minutes away from the 4 seed.
Yes.
And now you're the 8.
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. That's the team I was talking about before the break.
Embarrassing.
This team is either going to lose in the play-in or they're going to the Western Conference Finals. And another one for you. I'm actually kind of surprised the way the NBA is trending that Fitch hasn't been fired already. And if they don't make a deep run this year, he's not coming back. They'll probably replace him with Michael Malone.
Not bad. Take your betting to the next level with First Bet, whether it's Santa Anita, Gulfstream, or the road to the Derby. First Bet puts the action at your fingertips. Sign up now, firstbet.com, promo code VSiN200. Get a 20% rebate on all your wages for the first 60 days up to $200. Don't miss out. Bet smarter today, firstbet.com. It's unacceptable. It's embarrassing.
So Lakers 48-31.
How do you do that, man?
How do you throw him out of the game?
Oh, that's so bad. Like, he's notorious for talking to fans, and he uses it as fuel, right? He uses it to get motivated, and it's come on.
And here's what I don't understand. And trust me, there is a massive group of people out there who have a problem when people question the officials. They call it part of the game.
Yeah, okay.
That don't complain about that. Be better. Do something else is what they say. But yet, as we've yelled at, for many, many years, they have zero accountability, Paul.
Yeah.
Are they in front of the media after the game? Do they ever get fined? Do they ever get in trouble? Do they ever get suspended? I mean, that is few and far between. Like, it's a Haley's Comet when somebody gets in trouble.
Just say you made a mistake and rescind it and take
it back.
Oh,
yes.
Sorry, I thought he was talking to me. But it's like you ruined the game. You decided the game, and you're out here playing God. I mean, it goes back to what happened Saturday in the Duke game. How do you make that call on flag? Mm-hmm. All right, that's enough. It keeps happening.
But let's talk about this, though, for a minute, because, I don't know, I think the Lakers maybe win that game last night.
Could have been. They were awesome.
So if they meet here, that's twice now since Sunday.
Yeah.
If they meet in the playoffs, this is going to be a problem for OKC?
Austin Reeves was great, too.
Well, Paul.
Till the end. But.
I told this to Lon Kruger when he was in with us last week. Yeah. Lon Kruger recruited him in Oklahoma and coached him. I'm surprised when he doesn't have a great game now.
Yeah.
He's not even, people are calling him a third wheel. He could be the number one option. I don't care.
Yeah.
I am, when shots don't go in and when he has an off night, I'm kind of blown away. That's how good Reeves is right now.
What happens tonight now? I think everyone's making a mistake here with Luka's going to go off, what Nico did. I think the guy to watch is Anthony Davis. You don't think he wants this?
Sure.
Line's down to 3.5. It's a huge game. Number one, Dallas locks up a play-in position, which they'll do anyways. The Suns will lose tonight. But you're right. The Lakers have to get that 3 seed. And all these teams bunched up. And I've never seen this before. They have the tiebreakers over all 5 teams below them. It's nuts.
Yeah.
So just win 2 more, and you're going to get the 3 seed. And you are right. You got to be concerned with how it went in these last 2 games that they can take out OKC.
As for Luka, so you figured that the books were going to juice like his props tonight because everybody wanted to bet it, right? The revenge game. Books are offering 48.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's 7-0 under that last 7 games. It's 31.5 points tonight.
Yeah. It's a huge game. He could defer. You got to win this game.
For sure. I think your angle might be could be more of Davis.
Yeah. I think he wants this in the worst way about, hey, you traded me. We won a championship. I was LeBron's buddy. Okay, I'm going to show you. I think that, and the Lakers have nothing down low.
Oh, absolutely. It's a
nothing.
Total mismatch now for AD down low.
Yeah.
Against that defense.
Yeah.
That might be the guy for sure. Is Grimes going to play tonight?
I hope so. We know what to do with Grimes. 24.5 at DraftKings.
Yep.
24.5. Sixers favorite. How about that? But again, 13-1 overrun with his points prop. But you're getting up there now because he keeps going over. Now we're up to 24.5. But if he's playing, I'm laying.
So he is 11-3 over that number last 14 games. 23.5 is much more.
Oh, sure.
It's a better number.
Yeah.
But 24.5, he's still crushing that number. And here's another one. Jordan Poole is 8-2, over 16.5 points in his last 10 games. The guy that I'm going to have to fire on tonight is going to be Kobe White. I know it's the Heat. 17-2 over 22.5 points last 19 games. 17-2 over 30.5 PRA last 19 games. Guy's been on a mission.
Big game, too. Positioning, seeding, yes. Yep, I'm with you on that one.
Yep. Jeff Davis is the man in charge of the Masters here at Circus Sports. He'll join the program coming up next. Which golfers keep getting bet? And I want to ask him about a surprise golfer or two that really isn't drawing much interest.
To the Derby, playoffs to the draft. We have your summer covered with a VSiN Pro subscription for just $59 until August 1st. That means expert picks for every major event, exclusive betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, 24/7 video access on the VSiN Watch app, as well as betting guides for the Kentucky Derby and the NFL. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $59 and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. We are live downtown Las Vegas here on Masters Week at the Circa Resort and Casino. We head out here to the Progressive Guest Line, the man in charge of all the golf numbers here at Circa. He's been doing it for a long, long time. Great at it. Jeff Davis joins the program now. Jeff, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me, guys.
Good to talk to you.
I know that your head might be spinning from booking it because you guys take so many bets and so much sharp action on this. Do you enjoy booking Masters Week?
Oh, it's one of the best weeks of the year for me. It's just, you book the golf week in and week out, and you get to the summer months, and it can be a grind when you're trying to do the same thing for a 156-man field at the Rocket Mortgage. But, you do the Masters, and it doesn't stop because you've got your usual people who play every week playing, but you have so many other people that don't foray into golf that just decide they're going to bet a ton of money into this tournament, and so many people do. And you put up more markets for it, and they just write business. And you just sit down, and the ticker doesn't stop all night. I mean, I'm heading in after I get off the phone with you guys, and I'm probably going to be busy till midnight or 1 a.m.
Yeah, damn. Okay. Yeah. So, and you guys are great, offering tremendous numbers and all your outrights and everything else. And you're always changing numbers on these golfers as well. The hold percentage now, as we are less than 1 day away, where are you at right now? And do you think it's going to stay where it is currently?
Sam Cooney in the office, who is the brains behind a lot of the golf operations, he got it down to 19% Theo hold this morning. Basically what I always say, the more you guys want to bet and the more bets we take, the stronger the numbers get and the better chance we can get it lower. We'll see what happens when I get there. I mean, maybe I could get it down to 17.5 or 18%. We'll see how much wiggle room we have. We've gone down to like 12.5, 13 in years past, and frankly, that's just lunacy. But yeah, it's the more you bet, the more we're going to be able to make the market better for you.
What does the best in terms of top 10, top 5 matchups, miss the cut? What does the best all those in terms of handle?
Generally speaking, they'll end up being a couple of make-miss cut type props that turn out to be unbelievable props. Or maybe you get a matchup or two that turn out unbelievable. Like this year, the story of Angel Cabrera getting out of jail and winning in the Champions Tour this past weekend has got his make-miss cut is phenomenal. The two-way action's phenomenal. Another one, Max Homa, the guy is unbelievable for 2 years. And, over the last how many ever months he can't play golf. And there are just a lot of opinions in a tight range. And there just ends up being a couple of props every week that just people have differing opinions and they write. Another one this week is pretty much anything involving Xander Schauffele. We kind of like Xander in the office. He was hurt for a while, but showed a few flashes in his last out. And Data Golf, the paywall public golf model, really, really dislikes Xander this week. Their number is way out on him compared to ours. And, we've had a couple of sharp customers be pro Xander. So what ends up happening is people with an opinion that like Xander bet him in our markets. And then the people who attach themselves to whatever Data Golf says are betting against it. So we're able to write really, really good two-way on a lot of these Xander props and matchups.
Very good. You're also creative, and you never know what you're going to jump into or fall into, right? Wasn't it a couple of years ago you did something with John Daly against Tiger? That was huge?
Yeah. I mean, we like to get a little different if possible. With the weather and doing a daily matchup, it's kind of hard to find. It's hard to cherry pick a daily matchup where, okay, I want to match up Angel Cabrera against, Rory or something. But if they're teeing off 3 hours apart, the weather could be very different, and you're just setting yourself up for disaster for that. So in the daily matchup stuff, you're a little bit stuck to who, a couple of groups one way or another. But yeah, we don't want to be cookie cutter. We want to try to find things that are a little bit interesting or maybe a little bit different that nobody has. It's kind of like why, we do our own matchups every week. You'll see the screen will populate with, 30, 40, 50 matchups, and everyone just copies those matchups. And yeah, we could copy those matchups too, but if some guy just wants to bet 300 on Scotty against Rory, he's just going to bet it wherever he bets it. And I just feel like you can lose business in that regard. Whereas if we have Scotty versus John Rahm and nobody else has Scotty versus John Rahm, then anyone who wants to bet Scotty versus John Rahm is going to bet it at Circa. So to me, that's the advantage of making your own matchups and having someone in the office who can price them would give ourselves a chance to win.
Great answer. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Jeff Davis. He's in charge of all the golf, hockey, college baseball numbers, etc. here at Circa Sports. He's been doing this for a long time as well. How about lefty? On that note, with you never know what's going to be popular. Is lefty popular in any market this week?
Phil Mickelson specifically, I can't believe how short he's gotten the market in the outright. I mean, yeah, last year he came in terrible form and was incredible. He's like sub 100 to 1 now to win this thing. And he said that, we were 300, 400, 500 to 1 on him a few months ago to win the Masters. So yeah, he is very popular. And there's the whole thing with Bubba winning a few times and Phil winning. So people like to bet the lefties. Brian Harmon is really popular. We're a pretty big loser to him. Robert McIntyre is really popular, but not to the extent of Harmon or Mickelson. So yeah, people like the lefties. It's just some other niche or some other trend type thing that somebody can attach themselves to and put a few dollars down on.
How about two other former winners here? It appears as if Sergio Garcia is popular this week. And can the same be said for Patrick Reed?
Yeah, and Sergio, I don't even want to say he's popular as much as he is playing really, really good golf on the LIV Tour over the last few months. And his price is really warranted. I mean, you look at the LIV board every week, he's 18, 20, 22, 25 to 1 to win a tournament. And you parse that out into a better field and you find him where he is at a place that he's won in the past. And he's a guy you probably could have gotten, 150, 200, maybe a 225 on 10, 12 weeks ago. And now here he is 70 to 1. He's actually has not been very popular with the recreational crowd with us this week. He's actually quite a big winner for us. But Patrick Reed is always a popular figure. He's just one of those polarizing characters that, with between the family stuff and the cheating stuff and just being a brash character, he's just very popular. And yeah, he's another guy that is sub 100 to 1 and is commonly seen on the bet ticker.
Do you think there'll be a hole-in-one?
I don't know. It's taken money. This is the first year that I've put this prop up that it's actually taken money and it's not a decoration. Yes. But what's interesting is last year on Sunday, they didn't put the pin where it normally goes on Sunday, where all the balls funnel down. So there was only really one day to hole in 116. And I think that was on Thursday. And if you look at it's 4 and 6 are almost impossible to hole in 1. Corey Connors did it 3 years ago. I think he got a hole in 1 on 6. But do I know if there's going to be one? Absolutely not. And I think the pin placement on Sunday on 16 is going to make an enormous amount of difference because it's just not realistic to expect one on the other 3 holes.
Jeff, in about a minute left in this segment here, is there a popular golfer or two near the top of the odds board, or they were anyway, that you're just not drawing as much action as you really anticipated?
Scotty Scheffler. I mean, right at the top. We took some money at 5 to 1 on Monday morning from 2 different people that, we respect their action. So you can forget about us going to 5 to 1 again between now and when this thing tees off on Thursday morning. I think we're plus 480 or plus 485 right now. We're a huge winner to Scotty. I think what happens in a tournament like this is the recreational crowd doesn't want a guy that's 4.5, 5 to 1. They want a little bit more for their money. And there are plenty of great golfers as you go further out the board that can definitely win. But what happens is they continue to bet all of the other guys. They don't bet Scotty, and it just piles up. Another guy that's reasonably near the top of the board that has zero interest this week is Patrick Cantlay. Data Golf, the aforementioned model, likes him quite a bit this week. I think they have about 34-1 on him. We're in the 40s, and we can't write a bet, which is extremely rare, given people's affinity to bet to that website. So, yeah, Cantlay's another one. Absolutely no interest whatsoever.
All right, great intel. Jeff's going to hang around. He's also in charge of the hockey numbers. We'll talk some futures with him coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Got a good thing coming, just wait and see. It's a good.
Join Matt Brown and Mike Somich on Ready, Set, Bet as they get you ready to make your bets for all the weekend games.
We're going to be at the end of this thing with money guns, or I'm just going to be like, begging people for change out on Fremont Street.
It feels like the Twins and the Guardians have higher floors but lower ceilings.
Don't miss out on crucial advice for live betting once the game starts, as well as looking ahead to the upcoming action. Tune in to Ready, Set, Bet, weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Tough to get better than Masters Week. Love the event every single year. Love betting on golf as well. And we'll talk that and what we just did with Jeff Davis here at Circus Sports and get into some hockey as well. He remains on the Progressive Guest Line. Jeff is in charge of a bunch of sports here at Circus Sports. He's been doing this for a long, long time. Golf and NHL right there with him. I know you're buried in the Masters right now, getting ready for it to start tomorrow. But the Canucks came back from 3 goals down with a minute to go against the Stars last night. They forced overtime. They won it in overtime. You love this sport. Paul said, forget hockey. This might be the worst beat he's ever heard of. It's the first time it's ever happened, Jeff, in the history of the sport.
Yeah, we needed Dallas pretty good last night for the house. And it was 5-2 when Dallas added the empty netter to make it 5-2. Jeff Patterson, who was like one of the main Canucks beat writers, just tweeted the word curtains and had a gif of a movie curtain closing because the Canucks season was over with a loss.
Yes.
And then 2 minutes later, they make it 5-3 and they make it 5-4. I'm like, I got to put this game on TV. And they scored again with 5 seconds left. And I mean, they could have been minus $10 going to overtime. The Canucks, you could have laid it. I mean, there's no chance Dallas was winning at that point. Yeah. It was crazy. The Canucks still need a miracle to make the playoffs, and they're not going to get in. But, yeah, that was completely wild. And speaking of Dallas, you want to talk about a team that's just put it in reverse over the last, 6 weeks or so. Like, they're still – a week and a half ago, they could have still easily won the Central. Last weekend, they gag a game to the Penguins as a 250 favorite or whatever they were. They're just giving up so many chances now, and their shots for and shots against since the Four Nations break is frightening, and they're really feeling the effect of not having Miro Heiskanen on the blue line. Because that was a team coming into the season with 3 good defensemen and 3 really questionable defensemen, and now they're down to 2. They're up against it in the first round against Colorado, I tell you.
Did you add any futures on the Blues? Did you see this coming? Is it real that they won 12 in a row and then finally lost the other night?
No. To answer your question, no, I did not add any futures to the Blues. They're an interesting case because at the beginning of the season, they were awful with Bannister. You kind of thought they were going to be awful. They kind of punched above their weight last year. And then Montgomery comes in, and one of the many Boston Bruins front office malpractice jobs this year, firing Montgomery. Montgomery's regarded so highly that Armstrong fired his coach just because he wanted to hire Montgomery. And, they went on a little streak. They look like they might get back into it. They kind of fell back again. But, yeah, they've been on a heater. Bennington has been really unbelievable, kind of like his old, the Cup season they had in 2017, 2018, I believe it was. I don't know. I look at this team and I see a roster that doesn't have, truly elite talent anywhere. They got a lot of good, and they're very well coached. But if you look at the history of who wins Stanley Cups, for the most part, it's teams that have a few really, really high-end elite players. I just don't know. St. Louis is going to have to beat Vegas, and then the winner of Edmonton, LA, and then probably Colorado or Winnipeg, just to get to the Stanley Cup final. They played at Winnipeg last week with there was no crazy injuries. There was no back-to-back situations. It was a pretty neutral situation game, and Winnipeg closed minus 80 at home. And that's just one game. You parse that out over a series. They're just going to be a big dog in every series, and the 60-1 or whatever you can get out there is just not a good bet. The series rollover is just going to be such a better bet.
Are the Oilers in trouble? And is this the year? The Kings can't beat them? Home ice?
I didn't say the Kings can't beat them. I said the Oilers aren't in trouble. That's going to be a great series, but I just don't think you can put anything at all into what you've seen in the Oilers over the last 6 weeks. No McDavid, no Draisaitl, no Ekholm. It's like their three best players haven't been on the ice. So, like, what you see out of it is thoroughly irrelevant, in my opinion. I mean, the bigger issue is they've got to play the Kings, who are very good. But then it comes back to what I just said about the Blues. The Kings don't have, like, a truly, truly elite game breaker type. They got a whole lot of good, but you know, in that one of those 1-1 playoff games and goes to overtime and you need a goal. I mean, where's it coming from? Adrian Kempe, Kevin Fiala, Quentin Byfield, like all very good players. But I don't know. I mean, obviously it's just all going to be depending on what the price is, but I just don't think you can say Edmonton is, quote, in trouble based on what we've seen in the last how many ever weeks, because it's not really who the Oilers are.
Fair enough. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Jeff Davis here from Circa Sports with us on the Progressive Guest Line. What Paulie asked you about St. Louis, same thing here with Washington. Was there a point in the season where you're like, oh my God, I got to take this team for real? They have now 107 points, the best in the Eastern Conference. Did you tell yourself, like, look, I need to bet this team, or are you still not there with them?
Not only did I tell myself not to bet this team, they're just not really that good. They've won a lot of games, and Logan Thompson has been, like, unbelievable. I mean, you could argue he's been as good as Hellebuck, and the only reason why he can't win the Vezina is because he's been in a platoon and really hasn't just played the number of games and hasn't had quite the same impact that Hellebuck has had. But I mean, he's hurt now. Carberry came out and said something today that, you know, it's too early to start talking about a week from now or a week and a half from now. It didn't sound very good. And if Logan Thompson is out, the number of series that team can win is one. They are not going to beat Carolina with Charlie Lindgren in goal, I wouldn't think. They just keep winning. Like, they don't. I do like their defensive group. They have a really good blue line. It's deep. It's just after Ovechkin, I just don't. I don't know. I mean, they're going to be a dog in the second round against Carolina. And they're going to be a dog to anyone they play in the Atlantic in the Eastern Conference Final, and they're going to be a big dog in the Cup Final. I mean, the 13s and 14s. I mean, everyone out there thinks they're good, and the future market, you see 10, 11, 12. I've been the best price on the Capitals at Circa and for months, and you can't write any meaningful money on them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're just, it's going to be a big dog in 2 or 3 of the series. So, like, again, like the Blues, I don't see how you don't get 20-1 if you play a rollover game.
Do you recommend a flyer on anyone available or anyone that you like to make a deep run?
I wouldn't use the word flyer. I would use the word mispriced.
Okay.
So to me, the most interesting team in all of the playoffs is the Hurricanes. They went for it early, long before the deadline, trade for Rantanen, try to make a splash. Rantanen doesn't fit. He doesn't want to sign. So they trade him again at the deadline so they don't get stuck with him and have a guy that doesn't want to be there. I think it's genius GM both times. They try, they see they fail, they can still get out of it, and they do. And really, they only take like a small net loss on what they had before the Rantanen trade and what they have now. They're like, you can find 5-1 to win the East and like 12-1 to win the Cup. This team gets absolutely smashed on the screen every single game. They're the highest power rated team in the Eastern Conference. They're going to be the biggest favorite against the Devils in any series that exists in the first round. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're $3.50 or $4 against the Devils. The Devils are atrocious without Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton. Then, you know, they're favored there. They're going to be favored against the Capitals, and they could theoretically have home ice advantage against anyone that comes out of the Atlantic because they have as many points as those teams. So, I mean, they're going to be big favorite, and then we'll call it pick'em because they'll probably be favored against Toronto and not against Florida. And you can get 5-1 to win East. It's insane. And I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Oh, that was, again, so many good answers and great information there. Jeff, enjoy the Masters. Very busy week for you, obviously, every single year. And thank you for the time today. We really, really appreciate that.
You got it, guys.
Thank you.
There you go. Jeff Davis, man in charge here of golf, NHL, college baseball, a lot of that stuff at Circa.
They always put up USA versus Canada, too, while winning the Cup. And a 40-cent move here on the hole-in-one prop. It's up to $195 that there'll be a hole-in-one. Summer specials here. Best deal of the season. $59, everything we do through August 1st. 50% off the regular monthly price. Masters, NFL Draft, NBA, NHL playoffs, the Derby. We have you covered. Every pick, every host, every guest, the betting splits, the prop analyzer, 24/7 video access, every sport, every edge, one price. August 1st, $59. VSiN.com/subscribe. What a deal. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Well, speaking of curtains, this team has been a great story, but he might be cooked. Getting roughed up yet again today.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming apps.
Stormy really